Hello. Welcome to the Comet webinar. We're just going to wait just a minute just for a few more people that are still joining the channel. Can somebody please type in chat if you can hear me okay? Hopefully people can hear that. If you could just type in the chat if you can hear me okay. That'd be appreciated to know that our audio is working here. Yeah. Yep, yep, you can hear me fine. That's great. Hey, thanks, guys. Like I said, just one more minute and then we will get started. There's a couple of people still coming through at the moment. Okay, I think we've given everybody long enough to get in here. Hi, thanks, and welcome for joining us to the Comet webinar. It's great to have you here. Just to introduce myself, in case you haven't had any interactions with me yet, my name's Josh, and I'm one of the Comet team here, and I'm the best point of contact for anything business related. This webinar is coming to you from the Comet Development Headquarters based here in sunny Christchurch. That picture's not actually today, but it could be. The weather over here is quite nice at the moment. I apologise to anybody that's having bad weather wherever else they are. Just a couple of housekeeping rules. Basically, at the moment, the chat is in moderated mode, so feel free to ask any sort of questions that you want during the webinar. Depending on the size of the question, we might answer it then and there, or what we'll be doing is looking to answer that at the Q&A at the end of the webinar. If you have any questions afterwards, no worries, just feel free to send us an email at hello@Comet Backup, and also during this webinar as well, there's going to be a $100 US Amazon voucher. Basically, the question is going to relate to a couple of numbers that we're going to be talking about during the webinar, and then there's going to be the question at the end about it. So we're going to be joined today during this webinar by some of the Comet team, so it's going to be great to have a bit of a chat to them, answer your questions, and sort of hear what we've been up to, because it's been quite a busy year. So let's get into it. So the first person that I would like to introduce and bring into this discussion is Mason Giles. So Mason is the lead developer for the Comet team. I'm sure a number of you have probably had interactions with Mason through the tickets and also through just general development as well. Mason, how's it going?
Hey, good morning. Everyone can hear me all right? Hello? Hello? Yeah, okay. My audio is working, yeah. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. So what we're looking at in the screen here is, well, it's quite a few figures here. I mean, since we launched on the 20th of February, there's been 89 new features, 102 enhancements, 171 fixes, and that's been included within 29 stable releases, 39 Voyager releases, bringing to be a total of 65 releases. I mean, that's quite a bit this year. I mean, how do you find, or have you found, I should say, development sort of gone this year? It's been obviously quite a bit of a rush, and there's been a lot of demand for Comet, as certainly as we've launched out of the gate. I mean, what are your thoughts around that?
Yeah. I wish I could have done more releases. There's always so many good ideas we have going forward. I want to say that 65 releases sounds like a lot, but actually it's a trick number because of how our release cycles work. We've actually only had 4 releases We release once every 3 months, and during that 3 months, it's quiet. You get fixes only. People running IT businesses, you have enough to deal with already. You don't want things suddenly changing out. Predictability. Um, we have regular quarterly releases, so you can plan out upgrades as time allows. But if you are excited about new features, then you don't have to wait for the quarterly releases. So our separate Voyager stream releases roughly every week with the latest and greatest features and product integrations. And this two-stream policy, I think, has really resonated with people. It lets you balance between that predictability of releases, support periods, and having access to new features when you need them. And our development happens in the open in the Voyager releases, and every week there's something new.
Nice, nice. Thanks for that. It's certainly it's certainly been quite a bit looking at that. I mean, I suppose the place where I see it quite often is when I look at the cloud providers page itself. That seems to be an ever-growing list of supported places where people can back to cloud storage. I mean, the number seems to be growing there that we support. I mean, what do you think this is in terms of storage getting more competitive, or more choices sort of appearing in the market that are becoming more favorable for basically people looking for nice cheap storage?
Yeah, so we definitely see a lot of new cloud storage providers appearing on the scene. I mean, everyone's heard of the big names, Amazon, AWS, S3, Google Cloud Platform, and Azure. But there's a lot of smaller names, Backblaze and Wasabi are providing really competitive cost per gig prices. Obviously, there's some caveats about locations, redundancy, egress bandwidth charges, so you can't just look at that one number. But I think it's really good. I think, it's 2017. Storage is becoming a commodity. But you MSP partners are providing a value-add service on top of that commodity storage. So even though storage is experiencing this kind of downward price pressure, it's actually a really good opportunity for MSP partners to build margin. And a lot of these new storage providers are using off-the-shelf storage technology, OpenStack, S3 compatible, or SFTP, which means Comet is actually often already compatible from day one.
Yeah, it's certainly been attractive, and the fact is, it seems to be almost every week we get requests for more providers in there. So I'm interested to see what this can grow to. I can imagine it's going to be quite a big list by the time we have this discussion again next year. We've got one of the questions here, and there's obviously some people that are obviously interested in this from just a straight MSP point of view, but also some people that do dabble a little bit themselves in development. And so one of the questions is, you're obviously lead developer for Comet, so it takes up the majority of your time, but often a lot of people see and interact with you in the tickets as well, and handling from the support end. Why are you being involved in that as well as also being involved in development?
Okay, so our company is quite lucky that we've got offices in both New Zealand and the UK, so that's +12 and +0 time zones, and everyone chips in their fair share. Last I counted, there were, I think, 8 of us sharing the support responsibility, and that's how we're able to offer 24-hour round-the-clock support. My main role is to lead development on our core product, but if you see me in the tickets, so either your tickets are landing when I'm rostered on, or you've encountered something that genuinely needs developer attention, maybe it's fix number 172. And I just want to say that I'm really impressed with the high quality of questions that we receive from our MSP partners. People using the product every day, using it in new ways that really demonstrates that you're out there selling backup, pushing the boundaries of what our product is capable of. And that kind of direct feedback, I think, is the direct feedback between MSPs and developers in the tickets it's great for you because you can reach someone who understands your problem and has the capability to fix it. And it's good for us too because it helps us stay focused on what's happening in the MSP world and helps us focus on our goal of creating the world's best MSP-focused backup product. And a lot of the new features in 17.11 were the direct result of your tickets, which leads us to the feature voting platform that I think Josh will talk about later.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to jump into that too soon, but yeah, looking forward to talking to that a bit later. We've got just a couple of questions here. This one sort of loops back to the part at the beginning in terms of the different releases. So this release is called Luna, and just do you want to talk us about why we've got these space names and things like that, and what is the naming process for this? Somebody's also cheekily put, can they have a release named after, their favorite constellation? But I think that's probably off the cards. What sort of decision around why we do this?
Oh, it's nothing serious. I mean, we're just starting at the. Well, put it this way. I try and follow the industry quite closely. There's a lot of promo material from software vendors with teasers, the latest tips and news about the upcoming release and when's it getting released. And we're trying to be really predictable. 1711, our latest, that's year dot month, and we just release every 3 months on time. And the code names start at the center of the solar system, and we're picking large solar system objects. So, we started with 17.2 Mercury. 17.5 Venus. Gaia is, I think it's the Latin or Greek name for the Earth, and Luna is similar for the Moon. And I think this naming scheme is going to last us for quite a while because Jupiter and Saturn both have over 60 moons each. Yep.
Saying is we're not going to run out of potential names anytime soon.
That's the plan.
Okay, nice, cool. So touching on that as well in terms of the releases. So looking back over the year, there's been 89 different features. I would love to talk through all of them, but unfortunately we don't have all day to be here. But we've had obviously some standard things such as email reporting, cloud storage spanning, quotas. But recently we've had some of the more, I'd like to say, cooler things that have been asked for quite a bit. One of those was the replication speed display. I think you've had some feedback on that one as well.
Yeah, so the replication speed display is a new feature in 1711. It did land in the Voyager series slightly earlier, so it's just something quite nice. In Comet Server you can see how fast the replication's going, and it's great to see that kind of information, getting some deeper understanding about how your replication is performing. And it's confirmed what we knew all along, which is that our replication performs pretty well. I've seen screenshots from partners. The replication runs at maxing out a gigabit line, which is really impressive. A few really cool new features in 1711, as well as the replication speed display. There's a new bulk updater system, which will easily upgrade, software versions across your whole customer base. In a pretty intelligent way. If it fails to do the update, then it's not going to sit there in a loop retrying it. It won't try and update a client that's currently running a backup. Just that little bit of extra intelligence around bulk updates. And of course, new in 1711 as well is Hyper-V support, which, yeah, Hyper-V support. And a ton of little features, policy restrictions, improvements to make your life easier when you're installing Comet Server. Yeah.
Just talking about Hyper-V, it's been something that we've been asked about quite a while for us to include it as a booster for us to provide. What were your thoughts going to Hyper-V, and can you just explain it a little bit more to people that perhaps haven't had a chance to take a peek at Hyper-V and how we do it in Comet?
Sure. So Hyper-V support in Comet, you install Comet on the host machine and it will back up the guests. It's very simple. You just pick your VMs and go, or you select all VMs, and there's nothing more to it. It doesn't require any spool space. It uses Comet's chunk-based deduplication, our proven technology. It's VSS integrated in VM quiescing for supported operating systems. So, if you've got a virtual machine that's running SQL Server, a VSS-aware application inside the VM, then that's fully supported and safe, and it just works. Yeah, I'd be really happy to see any feedback about it in the tickets.
Yeah, we've got a couple of questions here that are quite long and quite specific relating to that, so we will probably chat about that a bit later. Now, before we sort of move on to the next section, Mason will be joining us at the end for the Q&A, so if you've certainly got any questions for Mason or want to know anything about Comet development in general, just continue to ask those and we'll address those at the end. But I suppose what everybody's wanting to know about is what's coming up in the short-term future for Comet. What are we looking at in terms of the next round of features?
Yeah, okay. On the subject of predictability, the next version we release every 3 months, so the next version is probably 18.2. That's year.month, so we're aiming for February, probably late February, probably called Mars. This is next large solar system object. We do have some rough plans for what we want to do for the next 3 months. Number one priority, I think, is to bring our proven technology for the first time to Mac OS X, which has actually been the number one feature request so far. And from past experience, we know that most MSP customer bases are 99% Windows Server, Windows Desktop, Linux Server, and that's where we're focused. But we still need to cover the long tail, and that starts with OS X this release cycle, and it will extend to things like Android and Chromebooks in the future. So that's our probably main goal for the 18.2 release, as well as that we want to get bandwidth throttling for both user backups and also for replication, and a client web interface just to let people log in, check their settings, view past reports, and so on. I don't want to promise too much more than that because who knows what the future holds, but we've got a lot of other ideas. We're looking at cloud-to-cloud backup, silent installation for bulk deployment on Windows that'll be here sooner rather than later, and yeah, of course, feature voting page.
Nice. Cheers, Mason. Okay, well, thanks for that. What we're going to do is we're going to move on to the next section. As I said, Mason will be coming back for the Q&A. If you think of any questions during this time, just ask them now. But what I would like to do now is introduce the next member of our team, and that is John Winter. So John came on board for Comet and started working on the dashboard and the licensing system for Comet. And most recently, John has been the architect for a product that launched probably a couple of weeks ago now, and that's called CometGo. John, how's it going?
Hey, great. Everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
Great. Cool. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about CometGo and explain what it is. So CometGo is Comet hosted for you on Amazon's cloud infrastructure. So what we can do is we spin up a Comet server for you using Amazon EC2, and we do all the configuration for you, and we attach storage for you using Amazon S3. So this is a really good option for customers who want to run a backup business but don't want to invest in any hardware or do any configuration. And it's also a good option if you just want to play around with Comet and check out its features. So with CometGo, we pretty much do everything for you. All you need to do is sign up, log in, add a server, and you're all ready to go. So I thought we'll give you a bit of a live demo of how to set up a CometGo server. So you can start this process off from your dashboard. You can just click on the My Servers link after you've signed up for your account. And then if you just click Add Server here, and you can choose between either CometGo or you can choose Comet Enterprise. So you also get to choose your plan. So the default pricing plan for CometGo is just $30 a month, and we use that to run your EC2 instance, and then it's 20 cents a gig on top of that for storage, and so we just deduct those charges daily from your account balance. So you now just click Set Up CometGo, and on this screen you can give your server a name, and we give you a domain for your server to get you started, but you can set up your own domain for CometGo as well if you want. And you can also set up email address to be used for sending backup reports. And when you're all happy with that, you just click Create CometGo Server. And so now it's going to kick off provisioning. It's going to start up a server, install Comet. It's all going to happen automatically, and that just takes a few minutes. And I think while that happens, Josh, you have a few questions.
Yeah, so during the development of this, you're obviously heavily using Comet's APIs, but also you're having to work a lot with Amazon's APIs. I mean, how did you find that process of using theirs for developing this?
Yeah, so I've been really interested in Amazon's cloud infrastructure overall. The API is really solid, and it does exactly what you tell it. It's also really well documented and supported. So integrating, building CometGo has been easier than expected. They also have APIs for everything. So like for sending backup reports from Comet Server, we're using Amazon's simple email service, for example, which made handling email really easy. And also I feel like using Amazon's platform's been around for long enough that they've already thought of and solved most of the issues that developers will come across. So that makes things nice and easy for us.
And what was the decision to go with AWS as opposed to somebody like Google or Microsoft, for example?
Yeah, so we've already used Amazon before for various other things internally. So we're already somewhat familiar with their APIs. Like we've already used their Route 53 service for handling our DNS. And we also found that Amazon has fairly competitive server and storage costs. And they've also got good region support there in most corners of the globe. So that will be good as well. So it looks like the server's come online now. So it's all finished provisioning. You see it turns green when the server's ready to go. So from here, you can just click the login link here. And it will automatically log you into your server. You just click OK on that. And so here's your brand new 1711 server all ready to go. So from this point, you really just need to add backup users, and you can download the client, and you're ready to start backing up. Everything's just configured automatically for you. Quite nice. The other thing that I'd like to show you is that you can rebrand your server. So for a CometGo server, you just click on this branding settings option here, and that'll pop up a dialog, and you've got server branding here. So I'll give you a quick demo of that, in fact. If, for example, we customize the header text, you could just put some text in there, and you could change the header color. And you know, when you've updated your branding options, you can just click on update, and the configuration will be applied to your server. And then when you next go and log in, just take a sec there. You can see that that branding's been applied to your server. So rebranding it's really nice and easy. You can also do the same thing with the downloaded client. You can change the name, and you've got all the different settings here. You can upload custom logos and images and all that kind of thing. Really easy to rebrand, and you can also set custom domain there as well. So we're quite happy with that, and it's really nice and easy to use. So yeah.
What about replication for CometGo?
Yeah, so Amazon already offers 99.99% availability in terms of uptime for your CometGo server. But also the storage that it uses is already replicated between two of Amazon's data centers. So the chance of any data loss is very slim to begin with. But that said, soon we'll be able to set up a replication for you in a totally different region, and then replicate between those two regions if you need more redundancy, or you want to have your data in two separate regions. So you can contact our support if that's something that you'd be interested in.
With this being minimal configuration, basically being limited to branding settings and configuring the look and the feel, in terms of something like patching for the newest versions and keeping the server up to date, how's that handled?
Yeah, so we are handling all that for you. When you start a Comet server now, you'll automatically get the latest version of Comet 1711 Learner. But we'll also upgrade your server automatically for you, so you'll always be running the latest version. You don't need to worry about any of that. It's just automatic for you. We're quite pleased with that.
Okay, so if people are wanting to try CometGo out, how do they get started? where do we go?
Yes. So this is all live now. When you sign up for an account, you'll be given $100 free credit, and you can use free credit to run your Comet server. We take the costs off daily. And if you go to your My Dashboard section, you can see that it's going to show you the daily charges. So you can see here it's charging you the plan cost, and storage will be broken down separately. So you can easily see, what charges are being added based on your server usage. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Well, thanks, John, for the quick run through of Go. I think that's probably it for now. I can see that we've got a couple of questions specifically relating to that, and we'll probably keep those for the Q&A as we're making good time now. I appreciate that some people do have time constraints, so we'll press on with those and answer those questions at the end. So the next person that I would like to introduce from the team that's going to be joining us is Mike Adam, and he's going to be talking about Cloudview, something that's probably been launched probably a little over a month ago now, that some people might have had experience with, other people might not have. So what we might do is just get Mike to have a bit of a chat about this. Mike, how's it going this morning? You had plenty of coffee? Feeling good?
Thanks, Josh. Am I coming through okay?
Yep, you're coming through fine. Yes. So with Cloud, oops, I just stopped there. So with Cloudview, do you just want to talk about what were your goals for developing Cloudview, and what was the mindset going into starting this project?
Yeah, so with Cloudview, we're really able to provide an easy way to aggregate the monitoring and management of all customers existing within your Comet infrastructure. So the key requirements for Cloudview are to make it easy to quickly see the status of your customers' backups, to maintain comprehensive details on customers with ease, and to really streamline the process of managing all your customers there.
Okay, should we flick over to your desktop and just have a bit of a look through it? Okay, should be able to see your desktop there, Mike.
Right.
So, do you want to tell us how you get started with Cloudview and what it actually looks like?
Yeah, so Cloudview is a CRM and monitoring system that provides a view of all Comet accounts across connected Comet servers. That's intended for users who are managing more than a handful of Comet users, at which point managing monitoring data via multiple server interfaces or attempting to correlate information across all of them, especially with a separate customer billing system, which can become quite impractical. So here we've got the dashboard, and I'll just click through and we can get to Cloudview there. Cool. So I'll just cover a few of Cloudview's strengths. Cloudview makes it easy to manage your customers with CRM records and details, an advanced search system that allows you to perform complex queries across all of your customers with a unified view across all of your servers. So we click through to see some customers here. We can see we're set up with a number of customer records already. We provide automatic consolidation of replicas, note-taking functionality, client downloads, etc. Of course, any servers that you connect to Cloudview here, customers will all appear in this list. If we click through to a customer record, here we can see we have a full CRM record detailing this customer's backup service. One of the things that Cloudview provides is advanced email reporting. So the email reports in Cloudview are a snapshot of all the protected items in their current state as of the time of sending, rather than the per job backups, backup reports that the Comet server will send. We provide custom schedules, branding, different templates to choose from, and one configuration for reporting on customers for all of your Comet servers tied in together, as well as per customer settings if you prefer to choose that. So we click through to see this. We can see here we have backup report recipients, the name, mode, and we're adding a template field to this shortly. We can preview what these reports will look like down here. So another major thing that Cloud focuses on is at-a-glance monitoring. So we have the event log. I'll click through this. Sorry, we are providing an update right now, which is just propagating. So here we go. Okay, we're on the event log. And so this provides an at-a-glance summary of the state of all Comet protected items being monitored by Cloudview, so regardless of the server. There's the ability to immediately format, sort of take notes, mainly watch this. So you can just scroll through here and status for all your backups as they clearly we've got a few that are failing here. This one's most recently, this one's failing, this one's failing. You can click through and see reports. And you can also perform remedial actions such as running backups immediately. So that's quite useful for monitoring all of the backups the customer's running on a daily basis, all from one location. On our home page here, we provide a number of widgets. So this provides a release log of all Comet updates as they're coming out, pie graphs summarizing the statuses of protected items monitored by Cloudview, and an overview of your connected servers.
Okay, so with this dashboard here that you look into, are there any options for customization or anything like that? Like I noticed the donut widget that looks familiar from somewhere else. Are there any options to create your own custom widgets?
Yeah, absolutely. So you custom searches based on your protected items, and then use them as the basis for these widgets that you see here. And so you can choose any arbitrary set of terms that you'd like to define a grouping, such as backup sets of protected items for a particular customer, or perhaps for a particular server, etc. And then you can create a widget for them, put them on the home page, and you've immediately got an overview of all statuses for those protected items as soon as you sign in.
I've got a question here that's sort of in two parts. Firstly, how many Comet servers can you add for Cloudview? And secondly, what's the refresh time of this data that you see in Cloudview here?
There's no limit on the number of Comet servers you can add to Cloudview, and of course you can create as many Comet servers as you like for no charge, so we believe that's quite easy functionality. Yeah, so you can basically manage all of your customers with absolutely no restriction. And sorry, can I just get you to repeat that second question?
What was the second question was what was the refresh time?
Yes. So Cloudview will sync with your Comet servers every 30 minutes, and our aim is to eventually get this to a live sync status where all changes are essentially pushed immediately to Cloudview.
And what's next year looking like for development for Cloudview? Obviously, this came out a couple months ago, and I've seen quite a bit of feedback that you've been getting. I've also seen some of the internal considerations that you have for next year. I mean, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, so for Cloudview, our ambitions are to improve the ability to filter all the information that you've got there, make that much more granular, and to integrate much more closely with the Comet servers that are connected to Cloudview, provide additional monitoring information for your servers, because obviously once all your servers are connected to Cloudview, it's quite advantageous to be able to see what's going on with not just the customers, but the servers themselves. So yeah, that's probably the general overview of our goals for the short term.
Another question here is that they're saying this product looks strangely like another product that's in the market. Do you want to cover that one?
Yes. So you may notice the Power Client logo on the bottom right. Essentially, Cloudview is a subset of the functionality of MyClient. We've partnered with our sister company MyClient and worked with them to provide close integration into Comet. MyClient obviously provides a portal for monitoring and management of a number of backup products. Yeah.
If people want to get started with Cloudview, have a bit of a play, see what they think, whether or not it's going to basically fit their needs, or if it's something they just want to have a bit of a play around because they're curious, how can they get started on this, and what are the details of the free trial?
Yeah, so Cloudview is accessible at any time from your Comet dashboard, so your billing dashboard. Let's go back through there. Just with this blue button in the top right-hand corner of your account, and you can click that anytime you like. It'll start a free trial. Free trial allows you to have up to 10 users, so there's no limit, no time limit on that. Of course, if you'd like to try MyClient as well, MyClient provides the sort of the enterprise functionality that Cloudview doesn't. So reseller support, advanced permission systems, managing those resellers, customizable branding, custom pages, menus, customizable text in a lot of areas. The ability to aggregate multiple accounts under single records, external signups, ability to manage billing details and price plans, And my client will also in the future have automation, customer portal, and installation summaries. And so you can sign up for a My Client trial, which is a month long, via my client's website at myclientglobal.com. So those are your two options really for trying out this functionality.
Okay, I can see we've got a couple more questions here, but we'll save those ones for the Q&A. Thanks for the run through, Mike. Anything else for Mike? As I said, just keep asking questions. Let's move on to the next section, which you should be able to see in relation to feature voting. Can everybody just confirm that they can see this on the screen? Chat can just point out that it says feature voting now. Hopefully everybody can see the feature voting section now. So feature voting is something that we have been asked a lot for previously. It's been a way that we really want to be able to listen to the demand from the partner base, because it's entirely not up to us just to decide obviously what feature set you guys want. We want to be able to hear from you and see what is the demand, what's trending, and base our development decisions on that. So this is why we've implemented this section. So you can access it when you've logged into your Comet account, and then it's simply under the Resources tab now. From here you can submit features, you can also add comments, and you can follow other features themselves. And what happens is when they change to statuses from being planned to in progress, they're completed, you'll be notified with them. And this is really the area now that we're going to be pushing towards people to use in terms of submitting and requesting and discussing features, just so we can move that more out of the ticketing and keep that more for support and make this the central point, because I think the discussion around here is critical for us to really understand, what the motivations are and what people are really needing, so that we can base that on what you want pretty much. So I encourage you to get involved. I'd love to see what you guys would want. We do have a big list that we track internally of the requests and who's asked for them, and certainly over the next week or two we'll be adding that into the feature list here, so you should be able to see that. So the next part is obviously now we're going to be moving into the Q&A. Now the Q&A section itself is going to involve all of the team members here, so certainly if you've got any questions for anybody, now is the time that you can ask that. So I've got one of the questions here, and let's just see who will be best to answer this one from. So the first question here is for John. John, the question's about, can people that have got multiple members of their team, is there going to be functionality at some stage that they can each have a support account and open their own individual tickets?
Yeah, absolutely. That's something we're planning for Comet Dashboard, because at the moment we, company having to share separate accounts, share the same account and log in with the same account on Dashboard isn't ideal. So we're going to add a system so that you can have one parent account, and then under that you can have sub accounts, and it's going to make organizing that a lot easier. So that is a planned feature, yeah.
Mm. Well, okay. So it's just something people should watch out for coming up soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. One of the questions here, is the automatic server upgrade to the latest version of Comet, going to be available on Comet Enterprise in the future? I can attempt to answer this, and then maybe Mason or John wants to jump into it here. This is a bit of a philosophical question of whether or not people want us to update basically their servers, whether they want to be involved with it or they're happy for us just to auto update it. At this stage we haven't made a firm decision on it, but I think if we do offer that option, it'll be something that people have to opt into, and it's not something that we would make compulsory or mandatory. John or Mason, do you have anything else to add to that?
I think you hit the nail on the head there. People in IT, we get a lot of feedback from both sides of this discussion, and people do want to manage their own update cycle. You don't want things to magically change out from under you. But at the same time, yeah, it's nice to have the updates just handled. And we'll maybe make it an optional in the future for Comet Enterprise users, but nothing mandatory and nothing to announce today. Sorry.
Mm. Another question here, Jason. What was the development vision behind using Ghost Plus? I mean, there's obviously somebody asking some development questions, which is nice to see for you. Yeah, what was sort of the thoughts around that heading into Comet?
Yeah, okay, so Comet's written in fast native code. We saw a lot of competitors in the market using Java and .NET based solutions, which is great, which is fine, but they do come with some restrictions. With Java particularly, you've got this 100 meg JVM that you have to ship around, and you have to set XMS, XMX parameters to get any good performance out of it, and it's just a little bit of a hassle, and we just thought we could do better. So we've been really pleased with the benefits of writing native code, because we can ship a really small, fast installer that's, it's only 10 megs for the per CPU version, and yeah, I've been really pleased with the experience.
Nice. Another one for you here. There's actually a couple that I'll just sort of crack into. Is there anything that you think people would be surprised to know about Comet under the hood?
Interesting question. No, I don't think there's anything surprising. I think we've been pretty open about our architecture. We talk a lot in the documentation about how chunking works, how encryption works, and so no secrets.
Okay. Question for, I'd say this one would be for Mike. What's the best place that somebody can discuss potential features or talk about that a bit further with you?
That would be the feature voting portal. And feel free to file a Comet support ticket as well if you'd like in the Cloudview section. But yeah, primary sort of area for discussion of features is going to be a feature portal moving forwards, I think, a feature voting portal.
Okay, another one here. Question for John. Somebody asking that they're not based in the States and they see that CometGo is only has storage for the US. Will multi-region be available at some stage for CometGo for, say, somebody in the UK or the EU?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a planned feature coming in the next few months, where we'll allow you to select your region for your S3 and EC2 instance, and that way you can have your Comet server be in the geographical region that makes sense to you, and that'll improve your performance, latency, and all that kind of thing. So we're really looking forward to releasing that.
Okay, thanks. This is probably a question for me. Who can speak to distribution options? That would be me. We've got a number of different options, whether it's distribution or reselling Comet. Certainly the best thing to do would be to send me an email, just hello@cometbackup.com. Or if you look on the Comet website, at the bottom of the left-hand corner in the menu items, there's a section in there about distribution options. You can have a bit of a read in there about some of the criteria that we look at. Another question here for Mason. Okay. Is there any feature in particular discussed or not discussed that you're really looking forward to developing? So perhaps this is something that we haven't announced yet, or something that's a bit far off, not in the immediate future, I suppose.
That's an interesting question, a little like human interest question. One thing that I'm really excited about, and I can't make any promises for if and when we'll have this available in a public version, is something called Live Mount Restore. I have to go on a bit of a tangent to explain this, but with Exchange backup, for instance, Comet supports Exchange via EDB backup, and it's kind of like the whole EDB. If you only want to restore a few emails or someone's mailbox, then it's a little bit of a hassle to mount the entire EDB. And so in the past, we've seen competitors work around this issue by backing up both EDB and PST level backup and a mail level backup as well. And it's just a hassle. You're double storing the data, and it's just a mess. But but it does enable some fast restore options, and we think we can achieve those fast restore options by something called live mount restore, which will let you mount the EDB directly out of the storage vault and extract individual things from it in an automatic, simple way without requiring the mess of MAPI over, like for instance, Exchange 2016 changed how all of that worked again, and so it would be simple. It wouldn't require extra storage. You'll be able to pull out things, but this is work in progress, and it's going to enable all sorts of things. Live mount virtual machines directly from the storage vault. But I shouldn't talk about that before. I don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched.
You're getting everybody excited now. You have to change the development. What have we got here? Question for Mike. This is one that's probably already solved. Is there a video overview of Cloudview, or where somebody can see a bit more information about it in depth with you?
Yeah, we've got a video on our YouTube channel, and you can find our YouTube channel by going to CometBackup.com, and we've just got a YouTube link down the bottom of the page.
That's nice and simple. I'm mindful that we're over time now, and I think I'd like to cut it there. That's been 45 minutes. I certainly appreciate that there are a lot of people that it's very late where they are, and some people obviously in the middle of a busy day. So we've got a number of other questions here that unfortunately I'm sorry to say we didn't get to, but I will be following up on email with to those people directly with responses from the team, and we will come back to you. So I'd just like to thank everybody for joining us. It's been great to speak to you. I know that the team certainly enjoyed it, and we've had a bunch of fun being able to chat about it. And it's certainly been a really great year for Comet, and I'm glad that we've been able to have a number of you join us on this journey starting this year, and it's going to be an exciting year next year, and we're looking forward to seeing where we're going. So thanks very much for joining. The replay of this will be up on our YouTube channel afterwards. But like I said, if you've got any questions, feel free to send them through to hello. And I just realized that I have not asked the question for the $100 Amazon voucher, and I can see a few people have left. What should I do here? I'll ask the question anyway. So earlier in the webinar, we showed a couple of statistics, well, not statistics, a couple of figures really around how many releases we've done this year. The person that can email hello at Comet Backup, the number of how many Voyager and stable releases we've done this year will get the voucher. Now, I'll give you a hint. It was somewhere between 50 and 100. So the first person to email me that gets the closest, yeah, I'll send you $100. So that's the end of the webinar. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll certainly look forward to chatting to you further in the future. Thank you.